Imagine your neighbor standing on your lawn, arms crossed, pointing at your wagging, happy dog like he's reporting a dangerous criminal. Now imagine him yelling, "That dog is banned from the yard," and you realizing he has absolutely no authority to say that. That was the moment everything in my peaceful neighborhood snapped, and I had no idea that standing up for my dog would unleash a storm, reveal a surprising ally, and expose the truth behind the woman who thought she ran the block, Karen. It started on a calm Saturday morning. Birds chirping, coffee brewing, sunlight pouring through the blinds. My dog Rocky, a gentle golden retriever with floppy ears and a goofy smile, trotted into the yard, tail swinging like a metronome of pure joy. He sniffed the grass, chased a butterfly, and flopped over like he owned every blade of grass on that lawn. For him, it was paradise. For Karen, it was apparently a federal crime. She stormed across the property line like she was leading a raid, sunglasses perched dramatically on her nose, clipboard in hand like she was born with it. "Your dog is not allowed in this yard," she snapped. No greeting, no explanation, just full-volume drama. I blinked. What?" She pointed at Rocky as if he were detonating landmines. "Dogs are banned. I checked the rules. This neighborhood deserves order, and I'll enforce it if no one else will." Now, there were no rules. Not officially. Karen was just self-appointed neighborhood sheriff. But she kept talking. "I saw your dog dig. I saw him bark yesterday. It's disruptive. I won't allow it." Rocky, by the way, was lying down chewing grass at this point, the most vicious menace in town. I tried to stay calm. "He's in my yard. He's harmless." But Karen smirked like she'd already won. "We'll see about that. I have connections. Your dog is done here." She turned and stomped away, muttering like a villain rehearsing a monologue. Little did I know, someone else had heard everything, and that someone wasn't just a neighbor. He was a retired K-9 officer, and he did not appreciate anyone threatening a dog on his watch. But I didn't know his background yet. All I knew was that trouble was brewing. Karen was ready for battle, and my sweet Rocky had somehow become public enemy number one in her imaginary rulebook. I stood there processing the insanity, feeling that tiny spark to protect my yard. I had to protect my best friend. And Rocky? Later that afternoon, the neighborhood group chat exploded. Someone posted, "Reminder, pets must follow community standards." 3 guesses who wrote it. Yep, Karen, complete with a smug emoji. I hadn't even responded when she marched back with a printed notice, like she ran the Pentagon. She slapped the paper on my door. "Official warning," she said. It looked very official until you noticed it was printed in Comic Sans and signed simply, "Neighborhood Compliance Officer, Karen." I almost laughed, but her eyes said she wasn't joking. She fully believed she held authority. That made her dangerous. Rocky wagged at her, thinking she brought treats. She recoiled like he was made of lava. "Control your animal," she hissed. I took a slow breath. "Karen, there are no rules banning dogs." "There will be," she shot back. "I'm drafting them now. And I have support." "Support? From who? The mailman? The squirrels?" I shrugged and shut the door, but I needed a plan. I was ready to file a real report if she escalated. And trust me, she would. Minutes later, a knock. Not dramatic pounding, just a gentle tap. I opened the door to see my neighbor Mike, a quiet guy with silver hair, calm eyes, and an aura that said he had seen things. Rocky loved him. "I heard what happened," he said. "Mind if I chat?" We walked to the yard. Rocky rolled in the grass, blissful, unaware his existence was on trial. Mike chuckled. "Good dog. Loyal. Looks like he'd protect you if he had to." I nodded. "But I guess I'm protecting him today." Mike's face shifted, firm, steady. "I used to work with K-9 units, retired now. But one thing I'll never tolerate is someone threatening a dog or acting like they own the law when they don't." My eyes widened. "K-9 officer?" Suddenly I wasn't alone. He continued, "Karen's pulled this with others. Tried to ban a kid's basketball hoop. Tried to get someone fined for wind chimes. But a dog, that's different. And I'm not letting her bully anyone." Before I could respond, Karen stepped out again, holding a clipboard like a weapon. She strutted toward us proudly, like she expected applause. She clearly had no idea who she was walking toward or the storm she was about to unleash on herself. Mike didn't move. He didn't even flinch. He just crossed his arms, calm and solid like a wall she was about to run into. Rocky stood, sensing tension, tail low, eyes alert, ready to defend if needed. And that was the moment I realized this wasn't just neighborhood drama anymore. It was a showdown waiting to happen. And Karen had just stepped into the spotlight. Karen planted herself in front of us, chin high like she practiced intimidation in the mirror. "I am enforcing neighborhood order," she declared. Mike raised an eyebrow. "Based on what authority?" She tapped her clipboard dramatically. "Community responsibility." And if you don't comply, consequences will follow. Mike chuckled. It wasn't mocking. It was the kind of laugh soldiers make when someone tries to intimidate them without knowing who they're talking to. Ma'am, he said calmly, I spent 23 years working real cases, training real officers, and protecting real people. You don't get to invent laws. Karen froze. Her posture faltered for half a second. Then she recovered. I know my rights, and I know how to control dangerous animals. Dangerous? Rocky sneezed and sat. Mike almost smiled. That dangerous animal could probably fetch you a tissue faster than you could dial a fake emergency number. Karen gasped like he slapped her with the truth. So you think you can threaten me? No, he replied, voice steady. I think you need to stop harassing this household and stop pretending you're the HOA. She tried again. I have documentation. Mike took one step forward. Not aggressive, but commanding. Miss, I've dealt with people who broke laws and people who tried to enforce laws they didn't understand. You're putting yourself in the wrong category. For the first time, her confidence cracked. But her pride, still alive, still stubborn. Fine, she spat. If you won't follow my rules, I'll get the authorities involved. Mike leaned closer. Please do. I'd love to explain to them why you're creating false claims and harassing neighbors. Silence. The wind even paused like nature wanted to watch. Karen opened her mouth, closed it, opened it again, then stomped away, mumbling about respect and order. Mike exhaled. She's not done. She never is, I replied. Rocky nudged my leg, unaware he just survived a neighborhood trial, but I could feel what was coming. Karen wouldn't let this go, and Mike wasn't going to let her win. The battle wasn't over. It had barely begun. That night, porch lights flicked on along the street. Whispers floated through the air, and everyone knew something had shifted. Karen had always been annoying, but now she had been challenged by someone she couldn't steamroll. And people loved to watch when bullies finally met someone stronger. Mike texted me, stay calm, document everything. Simple, professional. The kind of message that came from years of handling situations before they exploded. Rocky curled at my feet, loyal and peaceful. He didn't know he had a guardian now. 2 of them, actually. And for the first time all day, I felt ready for whatever Karen planned next. Tomorrow would decide everything soon. Morning brought drama, the kind that tastes like stale coffee and chaos. Karen marched back with 2 uniformed officers. She stood proudly, as if she summoned the law like a wizard. But her smirk vanished the moment one officer greeted Mike. Sergeant, didn't expect to see you here. Karen's jaw dropped. Mike nodded calmly. Gentlemen, we have a false complaint. This neighbor is harassing residents and making up regulations. Karen sputtered. He's lying! That dog is a threat! Rocky yawned. Officer number 2 stared at her. Ma'am, that dog looks like a teddy bear. She waved her clipboard. Rules! Dogs banned! Officer 1 took it, scanned it, and tried not to laugh. This isn't legal paperwork. This is a Word document. Mike folded his arms. And she's been distributing them as if they hold authority. Karen's face flushed crimson. You can't embarrass me like this. Mike looked at the officers. Please log the incident. Pattern of harassment. They nodded, writing notes. Karen took a shaky step backward. The control she worshipped? Gone. The audience she craved? Watching from windows. Then came the final blow. The officer sighed. Ma'am, if you continue filing false claims or harassing neighbors, you can face legal action. Karen's mouth opened. But no words came. Just soundless outrage. Rocky barked once, a friendly, clueless bark, and that was it. Karen turned and fled, sandals slapping the pavement like a retreating cartoon villain. The officers shook hands with Mike. Always good to see you. Stay safe. They left. Mike looked at me. Bullies break fast when the law sees them clearly. Rocky nuzzled his hand, tail wagging triumphantly. Peace returned, not with fireworks, but with quiet relief. Karen stayed inside for days. No clipboards, no speeches, just silence. Neighborhood kids played again. Dogs barked freely. And Rocky? He sprawled in the yard like he owned the world. Because he did. At least our little corner of it. And Karen, humbled, finally learned something she never expected. You can't control people by pretending to have power. I thanked Mike. He just smiled. Protect the innocent. Stop the loud ones. Same job, different battlefield. Rocky pawed at him. Grateful, goofy, completely unaware he helped win a war. That evening, neighbors dropped by one, offering smiles, cookies, even dog treats. Rocky soaked in attention like it was sunlight. The street felt lighter, freer, like everyone had been waiting for someone to finally stand up. Karen peeked once from her blinds, then vanished again. Maybe she was rewriting her imaginary rulebook. Or maybe, just maybe, she realized real authority doesn't come from clipboards and attitude. It comes from truth, courage, and community backing what's right. And we had all of that. Thanks for watching till the end. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like the video, drop a comment, and subscribe to the channel for more crazy neighborhood and Karen stories. Your support helps us bring you more dramatic moments every week.